Here we are with another beginner's guide, and this time it's the metal icons Metallica. Known as one of the founding big four of thrash metal, Metallica have been going strong since their formation in 1981. With their 11th studio album 72 Seasons being recently released, it can be a bit daunting trying to find the right entry point into this historic band's discography. We usually only do 5 songs for each band with this, but for these titans, we're making the stretch to 10. So here is part 1 for you. This is our beginner's guide for Metallica, the early years. Track 1, Seek and Destroy. Seek and Destroy is a 9th track from Metallica's 1983 debut album Kill 'Em All. It was the first song that the band recorded in the studio, marking its importance as a place in Metallica history. As a frequent song played by the band during live sets, it often has the important role of being the closing song of the night. According to Setlist FM, Seek and Destroy is also the 3rd most played track by the band, with 1,577 appearances in the 40 years since it was released. Seek and Destroy is about having the urge to search for a certain antagonist of the narrator. The lyrics unfold as if there has been quite some time that the narrator has been looking for this individual, and that the time is finally now to eliminate them violently. Starting straight off with guitars and a build up to the first verse, it isn't long before the simple and chugging riffs take hold and start making you want to bob your head along. James Hetfield's vocals take centre stage with plenty of reverb with that 1980s style of metal production. The smooth transition into the chorus is identifiable with a change from the hi-hats to the ride cymbal in the drum performance, and with the chugging riff changing in register with development. The repeated lines of "searching, seek and destroy" will have you chanting along before you know it, pulling you into the song. After just over halfway into Seek and Destroy, the tempo and feel for the song changes. The sudden switch in drum beat and riff brings in something new and exciting, and before long, Kirk Hammett is launching into a solo, giving you an early glimpse into what you'll be hearing throughout Metallica's discography from here on out. After another verse and chorus repetition, and a few changes into halftime sections from Lars's drumming, Seek and Destroy comes to a close, with this Metallica song letting you early on their career the distinctive sound that will help them forge their identity in the metal landscape. Track 2, For Whom the Bell Tolls. The 3rd track from 1984's Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls was a key song on the band's sophomore album, and remains as one of the most important songs in the band's extensive career. Supposedly the first song where Lars Ulrich drummed to a click track according to producer Flemming Rasmussen, it has been played 1,572 times, making it the 4th most played song in the band's career. Inspired by Ernest Hemingway's 1940s novel of the same name, For Whom the Bell Tolls delves into warfare and death, and how a group of 5 soldiers are making a final stand against the opposition. As the song draws to a close, the soldiers take their last look to the sky before they enter their final silence. The song fittingly begins with a tolling of a bell, and before long, the instrumentals enter, being led by Cliff Burton's unique style, providing the lead melody section of the riff. Alongside this prominent bass guitar part high in the mix, the simple riffs allow for the song to have nice progression over the top of solid pounding drums of Lars Ulrich. The strong, open chord sections provide the opening for James Hetfield's vocals to sit perfectly in the middle of the mix. The melody section makes tasteful reappearances throughout the song, which greatly displays the simplicity and powerful drive that Metallica have mastered during their career. Track 3, Master of Puppets. The only single and title track from Metallica's third album in 1986, Master of Puppets is arguably the band's most popular song due to its iconic riffs, its use in mainstream media, and for being the most played songs in the band's career, with 1,724 recorded appearances in a setlist. Lyrically, the song speaks about the effects that drugs can have on someone's life, with James Hetfield stating it says about how things get switched around. Instead of you controlling what you're taking and doing, it's the drugs controlling you. Lines from the song directly talk about this addiction with, "Taste me and you will see, more is all you need, dedicated to how I'm killing you." Master of Puppets contains several iconic metal guitar riffs that diversify in their time signature, showing more of the intricate songwriting from Metallica. Having fluent changes between 4/4, 5/8, and 21/32 time signatures in thrash metal music is something very unique, and to most music listeners is something that can go unnoticed. Vocal sections had the opportunity for big crowd participation in the first half of the song, with the high energy that is carried in the tempo. After the second chorus, a drop in tempo leads to a bridge section, with James Hetfield having a melodic guitar solo. Master of Puppets builds back up to the regular tempo and ferocity, with a solo being performed by Kirk Hammett this time around, before thrusting right back into the familiar verse section from earlier in the song. One big final chorus ends the song on a high and closes off this epic of metal music. Track 4, Battery. The opening track from Master of Puppets, Battery, will initially lull you into a false sense of security with its acoustic opening, but before long, Metallica will emphatically show everyone why they are pioneers and expert craftsmen of the thrash metal genre. The lyrics to Battery have had a few interpretations, with links to Metallica's history playing a club on Battery Street in San Francisco, as well as providing a positive metaphor for the community of the counterculture of metal and how people won't be able to nullify it as it's here to stay. Battery also speaks to the upfront aggression and defiance of smashing through the boundaries in protection of one's beliefs. Several layers of acoustic guitars provide a wonderfully crafted introduction before a wall of electric guitars crash down with thunderous floor toms. After some time adjusting to this, the tempo is turned up to 11 with fast-paced riffing backed with high-energy drums and fronted with short syllabic vocals to keep up with this speed. Very quick drum fills are scattered in this section before dropping down to a half-time musical interval, lulling you into a false sense of security. Before long, you're launched back into the high energy and pace, along with being met by a face-melting guitar solo. A final verse and chorus section close off the adrenaline rush of Battery, a song that would cause carnage when seeing them live. Track 5, 1.
I can't remember anything. Can't tell if this is true or dream. Deep down inside I feel the scream. This terrible silence stops me. Now that the world is through with me.
The third single from the 1989 fourth album, And Justice for All. 1 is arguably the most popular Metallica song and a staple of a live setlist, often to close out the night. Lyrically based on the 1939 novel Johnny Got His Gun, this song became the first Metallica symbol to have a music video made, with clips used from the 1971 film adaptation of this book. This video was then shown on MTV, giving a great deal of exposure to people of Metallica's music, increasing their status within the alternative scene. 1 is about a World War I soldier who, after setting off a landmine, has woken up again in hospital. Being kept alive by machines and fed through tubes, he has lost his arms and his legs, as well as his speech, sight and hearing. The soldier struggles to come to terms with his new physical state, calling out for God to take his life and remove this suffering. For a song that is so harrowing when delving deeper into the lyrics, it has proven itself to be a big sing-along live due to its popularity. The sound of warfare kicks off the song before the iconic clean guitar riff enters over the top. A gradual build ensues with added instrumentation, but remaining in this calmer tone. James Hetfield's vocals carry more melody, but still have moments towards the end of phrasing where the harsh tone is released. The usual force of Metallica enters during a brief chorus, with more distorted guitars and aggressive vocals, before dropping back down again in the verse. This back and forth between the styles continues, with guitar solos featuring in both the A and B sections of the song. Just over halfway into 1, Lars introduces the second kick drum, giving the song much more of a driving force underneath a faster picked riff. The tempo of the song picks up with high energy, leading to not just a fantastic solo from Kirk Hammett, but a great dual solo from both Hetfield and Hammett together. The riffing continues before coming to an abrupt ending, closing off one of Metallica's most popular songs. So that was Metallica's beginner's guide for the early years. If you're a fan of Metallica, what songs would you suggest from this era that weren't in this list and would help people get into their music? Who would you like to see a beginner's guide on next to introduce you to a band and their music? Comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We have a monthly podcast, gig vlogs, and various other content surrounding the genres of metal and alternative music, so be sure to check it all out.